Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we are doing a shop my stash, so I'm keeping this intro very short and sweet. I am going to be showing you what I was using in the month of October, and then we're going to go over what I've selected to use in the month of November. As usual, the biggest change is going to happen here, and as you can see already over here, there are some more lipsticks that I have been using than just the one nude that you've been seeing me wearing for months. I definitely wanted to try wearing some different colors again now that it's fall time, and I definitely have. So that's exciting. What else is really exciting is that I used up not one, not two, not three, but 4 products that I now need to change over. So that's really exciting. So let's just get to it straight away. Let's just start with the things that I used up. So I used up my primer. This is the Catrice Tensational primer. I will not be repurchasing this because it's a little too dark for me, but in terms of it priming, it did a good enough job. I wouldn't say it's super hydrating. I like their Fresh It Up. The blue one is a lot more hydrating, I find. I also don't find it very pore minimizing, which it also claims to do. It's just a good basic primer, but no more than that. And this is something that we saw coming, of course, but I used up my Hourglass primer. Someone gave me the tip to break up the powder myself. That's what I did. I scraped all the powder that was in the corners. I scraped it off and used it up that way. I definitely had some larger chunks, so my floor was scattered in powder every single time I use this, so I'm happy that this is now gone, so I can finally start using another powder. In the future, I will definitely be repurchasing this, but I have plenty of other powders that I still want to try, so currently I am not looking to repurchase straight away. I actually am very excited to be using one of my favorite powders again, and now I can really see how these sort of compare. So that's the Hourglass powder. A thing I use up that I don't have here anymore because I already put it with my use up makeup is my little cream eyeshadow that I use to set my base with. This is a new one. This is the last one I have of these. These have been discontinued by the Body Shop, but this is just my favorite sort of creamy shadow to well, it's not a creamy shadow, it's a cream colored shadow to set my base with. This is just my favorite, and that's what's been used up as well. And then I also found out today, actually, that I used up my Essence Make Me Brow. So I'm now finally, for the first time in my life, going to be trying something differently. It's been years since I tried a different brow gel, so you'll see in a minute what that is going to be. I also need to replace my mascara. Of course, this isn't used up, but it's just getting a bit dry and clumpy on me, which is why I'm going to be using a different mascara as well. And then for brows, this is going to stay the same. My eyeshadow primer, I am really liking this You Bet It Work primer by Essence. It's working really well. I'm also going to be keeping my setting spray, the All Nighter by Urban Decay, in here. This mascara can stay. Lips will go over in a minute. And then the bronzer I was using, I'm going to change up, even though I really like this. This is one of my favorites for a reason. And as you can see, I use this every single day in the past month. So that's why this is now looking quite atrocious. And I think, I'm not sure if you can see it on camera, but in real life, I can definitely see a little bit of a dip developing there as well. So in the future, this may be something I can hit pan on, but for now, I definitely want to start using a different bronzer. Let's do foundation then. At the start of the month, I was using the Colourpop foundation, and surprise to me, because I wasn't a big fan of the concealer by Colourpop, but this foundation I did quite enjoy. It's not my favorite, especially because the packaging is a little bit messy. You have to wipe this down after every single use. So it's not perfect for me. It's not like one of my top 10 foundations of all time, but it's a good one to try out, and I did really like it. I like this one a little bit more. This is the Dior Face and Body Foundation. The only downside I have is that sometimes when there's a little bit of air buildup in this foundation, I think that when you take off the cap, sometimes foundation comes pouring out, which is a bit of a downside, but this was a great foundation. Took it with me to New York because this is a plastic bottle, so it's very sort of lightweight and travel friendly too, so I love that about it. It has a very nice lightweight texture, and the shade is a little bit too light for me, but with bronzer and blush and highlight, it worked really well. Even if I'm out all day, this still looks nice at the end of the day. I used 2 different concealers this month. I was reacquainting myself with the Master Conceal by Maybelline, and I've just decided that this isn't really for me. I don't really like the application style because it has like a regular like tube, and I'm not sure why, but it didn't really work for me. It's also a bit too dark and a bit too yellow toned, even though this is the lightest shade, I believe. So this is a no-go for me, or in the future. And this is the Infallible More Than Concealer by L'Oreal. Really nice concealer if you like a very heavy coverage, and that's not something I really dig, so that is why I definitely am going to look for something a bit more lightweight in my collection for next month. This is sort of like the drugstore dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. That's how I would compare it. Let's talk highlighters, and one of these highlighters is actually going to stay in here because I just haven't tried it enough, and actually I'm really loving it. The highlighter by Essence is really, really pretty. I use this on my travels as well, so it has seen quite a lot of use, and it's a really nice box standard drugstore highlighter, and because the packaging is so slim, it's super easy for travel. So if you're someone who's on the go a lot, or if you like touching up your makeup throughout the day, this is a nice one to chuck into a makeup bag. The shade itself isn't too outrageously special or anything like that. This just does what a good highlighter needs to do. I also put this in my Shop My Stash last month because I really wanted to give this more of a try. I bought it last year, loved it, and loved it again. So I definitely gave this a glowing review over up on the blog. It has a really nice dent in there. This is actually very comparable, I find, to the Anastasia Embrace highlighter. So if you missed out on that last year, because that was limited edition, then NARS Fort de France can be a nice dupe for it. And then last but not least, the Milani, what's this called again? Hypnotic Lights highlighter, and this is a luster light highlighter. And this is a peachy duochrome, and this is the one that I'm going to be keeping in my Shop My Stash for another month because I am loving it a lot, and I just haven't gotten around to writing the review yet. And what I'm loving about this highlighter so much is how well it pairs with this blush. I've been wearing this combo in a few videos, and it's also going to come up in a couple of other videos that I've already filmed. But with Wine O'Clock by Catrice, I don't know why, it just really brings out the glow of the highlighter. And these two shades, once they blend onto your cheek, it looks really, really pretty. This I also haven't reviewed yet, so that is also staying. The Butter Blush by Physicians Formula in Plum Rose. This is just such a nice neutral shade on me, and this is great for the fall time. You can see that I'm really wearing down that pattern, so this is definitely a favorite in terms of blushes. So this is gonna also, again, go back into my collection, and I'm pretty sure I'll pick it up another time. A new product that I was using is the Too Faced Fruit Cocktail Blush Duo in Berries and Bubbly. And this is a very shimmery number, so I was a bit apprehensive about it even when I bought it. But this has really rekindled my love for all things shimmery blush. The shade range is a bit too dark for me, but this works as a really nice neutral, and this adds so much glow to your face. The sparkles that you may now see in a compact, I feel, do not translate to the cheek, and I just think the packaging is absolutely gorgeous as well. So Too Faced did a really good job with this, and this is definitely another one that I think around the holidays will be very pretty. Let's talk about this little section here right now. These are all the lipsticks that I've been using mostly. I did wear a couple of other ones in the month, but those I mainly took with me to New York, so I already showed you those in my video that I did then. I definitely pulled in some reds as well. I'm still wearing this Catrice Power Plumping Gel Lipstick. This is the one you've been seeing in a lot of my Shop My Stashes. This is 030 Speak Up, and it's just my goal to try and use this up before the end of the year because this is all that I have left, and I've never used up a lipstick in my life, so this is definitely going to, like, stay here. Everything else in here isn't necessarily a nude, perhaps this one. I was wearing this in my fashion haul that went up on Sunday, and this is Catrice's Taupeless in Love, and I fell back in love with the shade when I did my Catrice lipstick video. I swatched my entire lipstick collection by Catrice on my lips, and I put this back on, and I was like, oh, but that's such a nice cool tone brown shade, and I've been loving wearing this with one of the eyeshadow palettes that I will be talking about in a minute, Urban Decay Naked Honey. So this is definitely a really, really nice lipstick and a rediscovery in my collection. Everything else that I have for you here Everything else here is like brights, berries, sort of like nice poppy shades for the fall time. I really went ham with After Dark by Urban Decay, and this is still in their older packaging. This is still in the Revolution packaging. Let me see if I can show you this a little bit better. And this is really, really nice. They still do this in their Vice line, so if you like the shade, then you can definitely still find this. This is a Comfort Matte formula, so it's super duper comfortable. It's one of the best berries I own, and another thing that I was really looking forward to pulling into my daily makeup routine again. The only red that I wore this month that I didn't feature yet in other videos is Lady Danger by MAC. This is such a nice bright orange toned red lipstick, and I just really like this. Again, it went really, really well with Urban Decay's Naked Honey. And then Lise Watche, what's this called again? This is their Gourmand Velour in Cassis. And this is what I have on my lips as I'm filming this, but you can't see me yet because I will be filming another video after this. So if you want to see what this lipstick looks like on, please make sure you check my video that is going to go up on Sunday, because then you will see me wearing this. This is another great shade for the fall time, I feel. It's very bright. It's more like a magenta kind of berry shade, but the Urban Decay has a lot more depth to it, whereas this is a bit more bright. So if I want to go for a very bright option, which I've been loving lately, I've been wearing this. And this is a matte that stays put all day. I put this on at like 7:30 in the morning, and at 7:30 at night, it's still there. You can have meals with this. It's amazing. Really, really good lipstick. And last but not least, I also wore Bauhaus by Kat Von D. I really like the Kat Von D liquid lipstick formula, and the ones that I have, I still like to get some wear out of them, and this is a great fall shade. It's more blue toned than the Urban Decay and the Lise Watche. So this is a bit more cool toned, I would say, but it's still a berry shade. But that's not all that you didn't see me pull into my Shop My Stash, because you know that I always use some eyeshadow too that I don't pick in advance. I was still testing out a summer purchase, and that was the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This is the large one. I also own the mini breaker because I feel this isn't very complete. This seems like a very random array of colors, but I was able to pull some stunning shades out of this. There's only one shade here that I feel has bad pigmentation, and that is Sour. I feel that this just kind of like evaporates and it just doesn't really do much. Everything else here was really, really lovely, but I definitely used it in conjunction with the mini breaker because I felt that you needed that. I've already said this in the past. You need that mini breaker palette to really make this work. That's just my opinion. So let's talk mini breaker. I definitely am keeping it in the really nice bright lime green packaging here. And then if I open it up, I feel that some of the purples that are in here, especially this middle one, should have gone into the larger palette to really make that work. I found out that this is quite a surprise to me because this orange and that shade didn't really appeal to me, which is why I ummed and ahed for a long time whether I was going to get this as well as the large one. But in the end, I felt that the shades in here played really nicely with the shades in the Jawbreaker. These two are repeats. Everything else in here is not in the Jawbreaker palette, so that made it worth it to me. This brown pairs really nicely with a lot of the shades in the palette, and also this like mustardy sort of shade is really nice too. This orange is really nice too. This brassy gold was stunning too, so I was very happy that I got this. I will probably get the most use out of this though, rather than the larger one. The larger one I feel needs something else to ground it, whereas this I feel can stand on its own a lot better. A new purchase that I immediately started playing around with was Urban Decay's Naked Honey. I knew straight away I wanted to do some looks with this, so I already did 3 looks with this, and I hope to be filming an overview of Urban Decay Naked palettes and how this sort of compares to everything else in the line very, very soon. That's my aim for to get that up in the next 2 weeks or so. So you will definitely be seeing this video, or this palette featured in a video very, very soon. In October, I definitely reviewed some Essence and Catrice palettes again because they came out with some limited edition stuff. This was the Glitter Show palette, and I definitely wanted to do another look with this after I use this in my video. This is a stunning neutral palette, and I really enjoyed using it. I definitely still need to play around with those Royal Party palettes a little bit more. But yeah, they are really stunning, and they are definitely some of the best quality that Essence and Catrice have done in a long time. I was really looking forward to also repeating some loves from previous videos and that I've tried in the past few months. Natasha Denona Gold was definitely high up the list, so I used this for a week straight and fell in love with it even more. This has some stunning neutrals, some stunning golds, and then those greens really tie it together. And if you pair the golds with some of those greeny shades, they definitely pull very differently. Lots of different textures, lots of unique shades, even though it looks really boring. But this is a very unique palette in my collection, so I was happy to be able to go back to it. Speaking of Essence palettes, I also did a video with these. These were released and I couldn't find them anywhere, so I had a friend in Germany ship them to me. This is the Disney Princess collection. I'm only missing the Tiana palette, but I did find that still in stock on like a website that ships Essence internationally, Cosmetic for Less. The Ariel is my favorite of the three, but the Belle is really nice too, and the Jasmine has some nice shimmers, but they are a bit thin. If you'd like to see my video where I use 2 shades from every palette, where I also feature looks that I did with each one of these, I will make sure to link it in the eye above. And a video that is going to be coming up shortly is a video about these palettes. I mentioned recently that I received some PR, and the PR I received was by Folklore Beauty, and they sent me 3 of their eyeshadow palettes. So I am doing a video after this, after I finish filming this Shop My Stash. I'm going to be filming my review of the Secret, Smile, and Perth palettes that they send me. So that's going to go up on Sunday, so definitely check out if you want to hear my thoughts on these 3. And now it's time to show you what I'm pulling into my Shop My Stash for November, because we need a little bit of everything. The mascara I'm pulling in is the Total Temptation by Maybelline. I don't think I've used this yet. This was a launch a while ago, but I have so many mascaras in backup that I buy them when they release a new one that seems interesting, and then I forget to use it. So that's going to go there. For brows, I am going to be using Benefit's Gimme Brow. Would you believe it? I've never used this before. I've always been using the Essence one, so I can definitely now try this in comparison to the Essence one. So let's hope that this works out. So that's going to go in there. Let's talk some more base products then. For primer, I'm going to be pulling in my Becca, what's this called? First Light Priming Filter. And I believe this is more of like a hydrating primer, and that's definitely something I need at the moment because my skin is getting quite dry, you guys, with this weather that we're having. So I'm going to be using this. I bought this a while ago, but apart from once or twice, I haven't used it much. So I definitely now want to like put it to the test for like a full month and see how it wears and how it performs and do a review on it. So that's why I'm pulling this one in. Another base product I'm going to be pulling in is my Too Faced Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder. This is one of my all-time favorite powders, so I'm looking forward to using this again. I do know from experience that this is a powder you can use up quite quickly. This takes about 2 months usually, in the past anyways it did. So I think I could use this up before the end of the year. I'm going to be doing like a full makeup empties before the end of the year as well. So maybe this is something I can add by then. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a powder I'm looking forward to trying again. Now that I've used some other powders again, I definitely want to go back to an old favorite. Bronzer then, I ordered some Makeup Revolution bits again over the summertime, and I also pulled in this. This is one of their new bronzers. This is their Bronzer Reloaded, and this is in the shade Holiday Romance. It was a bit weird because I found this in the highlighter section because it wasn't with the other bronzers. But this is a really nice light tone bronzer, and I think it might be nice for this time of year. For blush, apart from the Catrice blush that I'm keeping, I'm going to be pulling in these 2. I'm pulling in an old favorite. This is Hourglass's Mood Exposure. You know how I feel about this blush. I keep raving about this. I love this shade, and I definitely want to use it a lot more. This is perfect for the fall time, and it's a bit more neutral, so I wanted to pull in a bit more something a bit more neutral, because this can be a bit dark because it is a deeper berry. Something new, because of course I want to try and play with, like, try out and play with some of the new stuff I bought when I was in New York. So I'm also putting in the Jouer Blush Duo in a Rose Gold. This is one that a lot of people have requested I do a video with. So later on in the month, when I do another like Get Ready With Me, where I also play around with some single shadows, you will definitely see me applying this because I want to make sure I use it in that video. And then I'm also pulling in a second highlighter, so I'm keeping the Milani in here, but to keep in also something a bit more like straightforward, you could say. This is more like a champagne-y gold shade. I'm pulling in my new Benefit Cookie highlighter. Also new to me is the Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer. I really want to try this. This seems to be a lot thinner in texture than the L'Oreal one that I was using before, so I'm looking forward to trying that, and I want to make sure I have a good blend of like affordable and high end in here. So also a bit more affordable is the Max Factor Radiant Lift Foundation. This is one that I bought a couple of weeks ago on offer, and I haven't heard anybody talking about this, so I thought I could give it a try. And something that I won't feature a whole lot, but I have, again, plans to do a video with this, but I bought these two minis over the summertime of the Benefit Hello Happy foundations. This is the Flawless Brightening Foundation, and this is their Soft Blur Foundation. And I just want to sort of compare these, perhaps in a video, in case you're interested, to see how they wear. So I won't be putting these like on my face daily, but I definitely want to put them in here to help me remember to film that video. And that's it. These are all of the items that I have now shot my stash for. I will definitely, of course, be showing you in my next video where I show you what like eyeshadow palettes I've been using and also what lipsticks I've been using, because I'm definitely still on like I want to try neutral train, and now that I've tried almost every new eyeshadow palette that I've used, apart from the Huda Beauty and the Pat McGrath stuff that I picked up in New York, I know that I will be able to wear a lot more like reds and brights and like fun berry shades again. So I'm again looking forward to that. So that was my Shop My Stash. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Subscribe if you'd like to see more by me. I make new videos 3 times a week. So I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!